They say the truth is stranger than fiction. But what if fiction is just where the truth has been buried to keep us safe? Imagine a world operating quietly behind the one we know. A hidden system that doesn't make the news, doesn't leave a paper trail, and doesn't ask for permission. Its job? To contain what should never exist. To isolate what can never be explained. To protect humanity from the things humanity isn't ready to face. That's the world of the SCP Foundation, a name few know. Fewer believe. And yet, one that may already control more than we realize. SCP stands for Secure, Contain, Protect. 3 words. 3 layers of silence. But behind those words lies a secret network, underground facilities, off-record military operations, black site laboratories, all said to be part of a global effort to capture and contain anomalies. But what is an anomaly? It could be an object that distorts time, a hallway that never ends, a virus that rewrites DNA into something non-human, or a creature that sees your thoughts. Thousands of SCPs are documented in the Foundation's so-called archives. Each one is described with clinical precision, object ID, risk level, containment method, and observation logs. Not in a sensational tone, but in a cold, detached, bureaucratic voice. And maybe that's what makes it even scarier. Because it doesn't feel like horror fiction. It feels like reading a real classified file. Take SCP-3008. For example, on the surface, it's just an IKEA. But once you enter, you realize there's no exit. The inside stretches endlessly, with false walls, fake ceilings, and mutated staff that roam after dark. People vanish. Some form tribes inside. Some are still lost, screaming into nowhere. Or SCP-4000, a forest with no name. The deeper you walk in, the more your identity slips away. People forget who they are. Some become things of the forest. Others are simply never seen again. And perhaps most disturbing, SCP-231. A young girl, kept in a sealed room, surrounded by containment teams. No one is allowed to know what she is, only that every day a specific ritual must be performed to keep a catastrophic event from unfolding. What's the ritual? No one knows. Because the document is redacted, every word blacked out. This isn't just fear. It's fear wrapped in procedure, hidden under layers of protocol, which makes it feel dangerously real. And still, we ask, is the SCP Foundation real? On the surface, it began as fiction, created online, expanded by thousands of anonymous writers. But fiction has limits, and some SCPs go beyond coincidence. There are reports that match real-world events, airplane disappearances similar to SCP-2852, underground buzzing, like SCP-2935 in locations where governments have denied access. Entities, observed in nuclear test footage, just like SCP-2396. The timing, the resemblance, it's all too close. And then, there's the phenomenon of shared dreams. Several people, from different countries, have reported dreaming of SCPs before reading about them. The same entities, the same numbers, almost like these concepts were already planted and the files only triggered the memory. How does that happen? Unless we're remembering something we were never supposed to know. Let's shift perspective. Governments have always kept secrets. We know this. It's not a theory, it's fact. MK Ultra was real. Project Stargate, involving psychic espionage, was real. Even today, UAP footage released by the Pentagon shows crafts performing maneuvers beyond our known technology. So, if these are the things they eventually admitted to, what haven't they told us? Could there be a modern-day Foundation under a different name, tasked with the same goals? Could the SCP files be a symbolic form of soft disclosure? Truth hidden inside fiction? Here's something else. Some SCP entries disappear. Not due to edits. Not archived. Just deleted. No explanation. No notice. Gone. When asked, the site's moderators say some content may have been removed. But why? If it's fiction, why hide it? Unless someone thought it was too close to reality. Imagine this. There are SCPs out there that have no physical form. They exist only as ideas. If you read about them, they infect your memory. If you understand them, they exist inside you. SCP-2521, for example, is said to appear whenever its name is written. That's why its file is written only in images and symbols, no text. Now imagine what happens when fiction like that becomes real. Have you ever seen the same number over and over? Heard your name whispered in white noise? Had a dream so vivid you weren't sure you were awake? Maybe that's just your mind. Or maybe that's how anomalies reach us. Not through doors, but through attention. The moment you observe them, they become real. So maybe the real SCPs aren't in vaults. Maybe they're in ideas, in belief. And maybe that's why the Foundation exists, to stop us from looking too closely. Because once we see them, they can't be unseen. And so we return to the question, is the SCP Foundation real? Maybe not in name, but in structure? In purpose? In silence? Very possibly. After all, what's more effective than hiding something in plain sight? Create a website. Call it fiction. Let the public read what they think are stories. But quietly, let the truth breathe between the lines. The Foundation doesn't need to deny reality. It just needs to distract you. So if you've ever had a dream that wasn't just a dream, if you've ever walked into a room and felt like something invisible left just before you entered, if you've ever woken up and sensed that something had been watching you, you're not crazy. You're paying attention. And that's exactly what they fear. If the SCP Foundation is real, we may never truly know. But the signs are there. The stories. The patterns. The missing pages. And perhaps they want it that way. So remember, if you ever find something strange, don't speak too loudly. If you ever feel something watching, don't stare too long. And if you hear a knock from inside a locked room, don't open it. Just whisper 3 words to yourself. Secure. Contain. Protect. Follow Mr. Tebow Mystery Pulse and stay on the trail of the unexplained. Because in a world this strange, staying curious might be the only thing that keeps you safe.